Have you ever heard that even a grain of sand can explain the universe? It's a feeling of such immense power that you can't even imagine. And that's exactly what you'll find in this video. The most subtle substance to expand your consciousness, connecting you with the divine. From substances you find in the corner store of your neighborhood, to those sacred ones that have been used as a bridge to God for thousands of years. In the end, I'll even talk about the unbelievable impact of coffee on your spirituality. It's worth noting that dependence should never be the goal, but others, like the most powerful of all, you can and should have abundantly in your life. And the more it enters your body, the more you connect with the divine. When used correctly, this substance that you find almost everywhere has the ability to enlighten you, not only during the effect, but forever. And this same substance was responsible for the enlightenment of great masters of the past, like Buddha and Jesus. Every person who wants to achieve divine consciousness will have to make correct use of this substance. Sooner or later, you'll be surprised to know what it is. These substances permeate your surroundings, being present everywhere, including within you, even if you don't realize it. They are expressions of creation, resurrection, condemnation, and regeneration. They are the means that bring you closer to God. Humanity has always sought tools that could expand its consciousness. Therefore, the first evidence of the use of these substances surprisingly dates back to prehistory, where early humans used psychoactive plants and fungi in rituals and shamanic practices, with studies even suggesting that the use of these psychedelics was one of the drivers of the cognitive development of the human race. In ancient Egypt, blue lotus was often used in religious rituals because of its properties that allowed access to elevated states of consciousness. And even in Hinduism, natural plants like cannabis were frequently used as a bridge to spirituality, revered as a manifestation of the divine, associated with the very incarnation of the god Shiva. And nowadays, although there are hundreds of studies using these substances to treat depression, anxiety, and various types of trauma, some people who fill themselves with medicines, smoke cigarettes, drink alcohol, and consume sugar still use what remains of their health to spread hypocrisy regarding these sacred medicines. Any of us who think we can prohibit the existence of something that God created is because that person is far from the truth or the divine being that dwells in all of us. Well, but now it's time to address all of them, the sacred substances that bring you closer to the divine, from the subtlest, which have the lightest effects, to the most powerful of all. When you think of cocoa, what comes to mind? Chocolates, sweetness, and lots of sugar. When cocoa is discussed, it is common to associate it with chocolates, sweets, and abundant sugar. However, before we understand the true essence of cocoa, it is necessary to recognize its significant power, capable of substantially contributing to an individual's spiritual journey. To delve into the mysteries underlying the so-called cocoa medicine, it is imperative to return to the times of the Maya, Inca, and Aztec peoples, responsible for disseminating the spiritual use of chocolate's raw material. In this historical period, cocoa was seen as a supernatural force, mediating between the living and the dead in religious ceremonies, conceived in the belief of the time by the goddess of love and fertility, called ex-coco. Surprisingly, in a culture that deeply valued the spiritual aspect, cocoa was even used as a medium of exchange, surpassing in value silver and gold. However, what really matters is understanding how cocoa can bring us closer to the divine. The main answer lies in our own hearts. By consuming true cocoa, we experience a significant expansion of the heart chakra, making us more loving and empathetic. To experience this potency, it is necessary to calm mental agitation and connect with the senses. Furthermore, cocoa directly influences the fundamental energies of Kundalini, channeling them into expression and creativity. This substance provides genuine emotional purification, establishing an intrinsic connection with oneself and others, a crucial step towards connection with the divine. To experience the effects of sacred cocoa or ceremonial cocoa, it is essential to turn to its most natural source, a meticulous process that transforms cocoa into bars without the addition of any chemical additives. Then you take this bar, melt it in a pot, and drink it without adding sugar or sweetener. And so you discover that true cocoa possesses all these spiritual benefits. Now, let's explore even more powerful sacred substances to expand your consciousness and connect with the divine. These substances have various purposes and uses. However, what many are unaware of is the connection of the sacred herb with spirituality. The term sacred herb is attributed to any substance that facilitates access to the deepest layers of our being, connecting us with the divine present in each of us. However, in this context, we will focus on the spiritual use of the herb, not on its trivialized use, where indiscriminate use can result in harmful addictions, opening space for spiritual obsessions that can cause mental and spiritual damage. An important characteristic of the sacred herb is its ability to significantly expand our mediumistic abilities, allowing them to be gradually developed during its effect. When THC, its main active ingredient, interacts with the body, it can provide a significant amplification of sensitivity to energies. Furthermore, it acts as a potentializer of the meditative state by directly influencing the crown chakra or third eye, increasing creativity, intuition, and perception of synchronicities around us. Historically, this drink, mentioned in the Vedas, had the purpose of connecting us with the divine, purifying our sins, and ensuring a peaceful afterlife. However, its use outside of rituals was considered a sin. Buddhist tradition narrates that Siddhartha exclusively fed on hemp seeds for years before becoming Buddha. Although the sacred herb has been used over millennia for medicinal and sacred purposes, it is currently far removed from its original state, adulterated compared to what was once a tool for connection with the divine. Cannabis is undoubtedly a very sacred and powerful herb. When used in specific contexts, it can be a powerful tool for healing and expanding consciousness, connecting us with the divine. For millennia, it has been used as a sacred herb to heal the body, mind, and soul, connect with the cosmos, and free the mind. Although its use is sacred and beneficial in certain situations, its indiscriminate use does not lead to the approach of the divine. Climbing even higher on the spiritual scale, we encounter the oldest and most surprising consciousness-altering substance known to humanity: mushrooms, endowed with psilocybin. Accompanying humanity in spiritual practices since time immemorial, these mushrooms have played a significant role in various shamanic cultures, influencing even the development of Homo sapiens and the earliest religions in the world. For the first time, the psilocybin of these mushrooms is being studied more deeply, resulting in years of research and thousands of documented cases of healing from various symptoms. Recently, one of these studies revealed something that shocked the entire world. I was diagnosed with prostate cancer. My case was so severe that my prognosis indicated virtually no chance of survival. I became aware of this study through a pamphlet provided by my oncologist. He informed me that it was something that could help alleviate. Faced with this situation, I kept hope alive and focused on the experience that emerged when the psilocybin began to take effect. In this intense journey, the priorities of this world, such as family and everyday matters, lost their relevance. It is often said that explaining mystical experiences is challenging, but that's precisely what happened. The power unleashed was so immense that it could barely be conceived. Never before had I felt anything like it. It was like being immersed in an infinite space and remaining there. The most notable part was that it gave me a sense of peace with life, as the fear of death disappeared. The results of the study were astonishing. Many participants described this experience as deeply transformative, highlighting its spiritual significance. Some reported that it was the most significant experience of their lives, while others ranked it among the top 5 most memorable. This impact demonstrates the potential of this therapeutic approach, not only from a scientific standpoint, but also in terms of spiritual and personal enrichment. For spiritual practitioners, the effects of mushrooms on mediumship are notable, especially regarding the realms of nature, where the connection with the natural environment intensifies. Furthermore, other common spiritual manifestations associated with mushroom use include access to Akashic records, communication with spiritual entities, mainly from the Deva realm, and the activation of the Kundalini. In Brazil, mushrooms containing psilocybin are not illegal, with only the extraction of the substance prohibited. It is lamentable to see that while in more advanced countries, psilocybin is used for therapeutic treatments, in Brazil, ignorance prevails. and attempts are made to prohibit something that is still widely unknown. Regarding risks, the latest study conducted by scientist David Nutt demonstrated that mushroom use is the safest and least harmful among all evaluated psychoactive substances. A comparative analysis reveals alcohol as the most damaging substance, while mushrooms rank much lower on the scale. In summary, magic mushrooms and their active ingredient, psilocybin, represent a fascinating intersection between science, therapy, and spirituality. However, even more powerful is the next substance, the very molecule of the spirit. It is a mysterious compound found in almost every aspect of nature, known as DMT, dimethyltryptamine, and surprisingly, any organism is capable of synthesizing it, including you. And not only synthesizing it, but you have this substance within you at this very moment, responsible for your spiritual connection. This fascinating molecule, DMT, possesses extraordinary properties that transcend its mere presence in nature. Its role goes beyond being a mere chemical substance, being considered by many as the key to altered states of consciousness, mystical experiences, and even encounters with the divine. DMT has been the subject of study and interest from various fields, including neuroscience, psychology, and spirituality. Chemically, it is an alkaloid belonging to the tryptamine family, and its molecular structure is remarkably similar to serotonin, a neurotransmitter associated with mood, sleep, and cognitive functions. Despite its widespread presence in nature, DMT is most known for its psychoactive potential when consumed under certain circumstances. In various cultures around the world, DMT is used in religious rituals and shamanic ceremonies for millennia, where it is valued for its visionary and spiritual properties. A striking example is the traditional use of ayahuasca, an entheogenic brew prepared from plants containing DMT, such as the Banisteriopsis caapi vine and the leaves of the Psychotria viridis shrub. In this context, DMT is combined with monoamine oxidase inhibitors, MAOIs, present in the vine, allowing DMT to be ingested orally and exert its psychoactive effects. The experiences reported by those who consume ayahuasca often describe encounters with spiritual entities, journeys through dreamlike landscapes, and profound insights into the nature of existence. Many consider these experiences as catalysts for deep personal and spiritual transformations. In addition to traditional use in rituals, DMT has sparked growing interest in the scientific community as a tool for exploring human consciousness and potential therapeutic applications. Preliminary studies suggest that DMT may have potential in the treatment of psychological disorders, such as depression and post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, although further research is needed to fully understand its effects and mechanisms of action. Therefore, the presence of DMT in the natural world is more than just a chemical curiosity. It is an intriguing reminder of the profound link between the human mind and the cosmos, and an invitation to explore the mysteries of consciousness and spirituality through a scientific and introspective lens. There is an incredibly powerful and accessible substance that transcends the impact of any other we have mentioned before. This substance is so present in our daily lives that we often forget its importance and fail to make the best use of it. However, without it, life as we know it would cease to exist. When used and manipulated correctly, this substance can elevate us to true spiritual enlightenment. All the substances mentioned earlier are extremely important, but they are more like aids on our spiritual journey, often serving to provide us glimpses of a new reality. Think of a person who has spent their entire life believing that reality consisted only of the shadows in a cave. If, through the use of these substances, they were able to catch a glimpse, even for a moment, of the reality of the outside world, then when the effect wore off and they returned to the shadows of the cave, they would know what is real. They would understand that there is a much larger reality than what our five senses show us. This would increase their willpower to seek enlightenment through a long spiritual journey. In this journey, we find the true substance capable of illuminating someone not just for a moment, but forever. This substance is the air we breathe, which, when used correctly, can truly lead us to God. Most people do not know how to breathe, and this results in states of anxiety, stress, and depression. However, the great masters of the past, such as Buddha, Jesus, and Yogananda, all made correct use of this same air through breathing techniques to achieve spiritual enlightenment. It is this same air that, when used correctly, is capable of releasing large amounts of the spirit molecule we mentioned earlier, DMT. You can achieve the same effects as all the substances mentioned earlier just through breathing, and one of the best techniques for this is holotropic breathing, which involves rapid and deep breaths, followed by a period of breath retention, and then slow exhalation. One of the most intense experiences one can have through holotropic breathing is a sense of unity. All of this to me is spirituality. Another technique is Kriya Yoga breathing, which essentially reverses the flow of energies in the body, allowing the energy to rise towards the higher chakras. Through this practice, people can achieve a special state. It is the only thing that is truly worth it. All other things are temporary and will eventually leave us one day. Therefore, we should enjoy them but not cling to them. If we become dependent on something external, we are destined for affliction. So what should we do? We should rely on the internal, trust our own breath, which will never abandon us. When our breath leaves us, it takes our soul with it. Breath and soul are united forever. Daily practice of conscious breathing will lead to increased production of DMT and connection with divine consciousness, as well as providing various physical benefits, such as better sleep, concentration, focus, vitality, and emotional balance. For some people, our next and final substance is as present in their lives as air. However, unlike the air we breathe, coffee has more hidden impacts on their spirituality. We cannot fail to mention it, as it is consumed by over 5 billion people worldwide. While it is enjoyed and acclaimed, coffee brings controversial consequences to our spirit. The caffeine in coffee occupies the place of adenosine in brain cells, masking the feeling of tiredness by reducing the brain's perception of adenosine. However, over time, adenosine begins to predominate, leading to increased coffee consumption to meet the growing demand of receptors. While caffeine temporarily enhances concentration and memory, its rebound effect can cause lack of presence and clarity, hindering deep meditation. The constant stimulation of the adrenal glands with adrenaline and cortisol due to frequent caffeine use can lead to anxiety and lack of focus. Many people who stop drinking coffee experience withdrawal symptoms such as headaches, anxiety, and lack of focus, which can result in a vicious cycle of dependence. Coffee, as a stimulant substance, can alter our mental and emotional state in ways that affect our spiritual connection. When consumed in excess, it can create a sense of agitation, anxiety, and restlessness, making it difficult to practice deep meditation and contemplation. For example, imagine a person who consumes several cups of coffee throughout the day to stay alert and focused on their responsibilities. While initially this may seem helpful for increasing productivity, caffeine can end up overloading the nervous system, resulting in irritability, nervousness, and difficulty relaxing. These adverse effects can impair our ability to tune into our inner spirituality and make it difficult to connect with our deeper selves. Instead of feeling calm and centered, we may find ourselves in a constant state of agitation, where it is difficult to find inner peace and mental clarity. Additionally, excessive coffee consumption can negatively affect our sleep, leading to sleep disorders, insomnia, and disturbing dreams. As a result, our ability to access higher states of consciousness during deep sleep may be compromised, preventing us from fully exploring spiritual realms at night. On the other hand, by reducing coffee consumption and adopting practices that promote relaxation and tranquility, such as meditation, yoga, and contact with nature, we can cultivate a deeper connection with our spirituality. By allowing our body and mind to slow down, we can make room for spiritual insights, intuitions, and transcendental experiences that enrich our spiritual journey. Therefore, when considering the role of coffee in our daily lives, it is important to evaluate how its consumption affects our physical, mental, and spiritual health. By finding a healthy and conscious balance regarding coffee, we can nurture our soul and cultivate a deeper connection with the divine within and around us. Closing this journey of exploration of the substances that shape our spirituality is like reaching the end of a winding trail and contemplating the vastness of the horizon. I hope that along this path, you have found valuable insights and inspiration for your own spiritual journey. Always remember that the tools we use, whether natural or artificial, are only means to a greater end: connection with the divine. Just as a navigator relies on their guiding stars, it is essential to discern wisely which substances or practices resonate best with your soul and spiritual purpose. Breath, this subtle and omnipresent substance that keeps us alive, is a powerful ally in our quest for enlightenment. By practicing breathing techniques such as holotropic breathing or Kriya Yoga breathing, you can access heightened states of consciousness and nurture your connection with the divine in a simple and accessible way. Remember that the true substance that connects us to the divine is within us, waiting to be awakened by conscious practice and pure intention. Also, when reflecting on the role of coffee in your daily life, be attentive to the signals that your body and spirit provide. Find a healthy balance regarding the consumption of this substance, and be open to exploring other practices that promote relaxation and serenity, such as meditation and contact with nature. By doing so, you can cultivate a deeper connection with yourself and the universe around you. May this journey have been enriching and inspiring for you, and may you continue to explore the mysteries of spirituality with curiosity and discernment. Always remember that the true essence of spirituality lies in your own inner journey, and that every step taken with awareness and love brings you closer to the divine. Thank you for accompanying me on this journey, and may you continue your path with courage, gratitude, and an open heart to the wonders that lie ahead. Until our next video.